Well, welcome to the Botanical Medicine Study Course with me, your host and instructor for the online Botanical Medicine class, Stephanie Georgiev. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. And if you would like to participate in the course, which will begin in early 2024, click below for free introductory video and handouts. Now, starting in mid-January, I'm going to have a little more online presence and interaction. You'll get to see my little chubby cheeks and my lovely white hair. And I should be a little more present on social media. I'm going to create a Discord, and that'll all be in preparation for when the course started. So again, check the link below where you can download a video and handouts. And I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming on board. Thanks for liking and sharing. It really, really does help, and I so appreciate it. It's been an incredible year, and I'm really looking forward to 2024 to be even better than this one. Now, at the time of the posting of this video, we are full into December, and in the Northern Hemisphere, it's just a few days before the onset of winter. Now, something in my bones says it's going to be a doozy of a cold and flu season this year in the northern part of the planet. It seems that viruses are mutating all over the place, causing what I call, in layperson's terms, mind you, doozy flus. Now, the issue with all the synthetic drugs and vaccines, and they're very effective, is what they do is they obviously act on the bugs, but they do not enhance the general immunity of the individuals who take these things in the long term, which is why you have to get boosters for vaccines all the time. Now, these substances that we take actually can accelerate the evolution of viruses and bacteria. Now, currently, we are witnessing this in real time, particularly in the lack of adequate and effective antibiotics, because the overuse in food and agriculture and healthcare, meaning they were prescribed too often for things that didn't really need them, and also because people demanded they were given. People really demanded that their physicians prescribe antibiotics. And what this did was it hypercharged the evolution of the bugs, making them stronger and resistant to most classes of antibiotics, while not encouraging the development of immunity in we people who are called the hosts. Now, this is also true with viruses. Now, please note, I'm not saying don't take these drugs. They can be life-saving, and in certain instances, certain vaccines are extraordinarily important. You can't recover from polio, okay? Or things like Ebola and stuff like that. So what I encourage people is to inform yourself about everything you put into your body and make sure you're getting good health care from a qualified and licensed healthcare practitioner. And what I can say, at least from my own personal experience, professional and academic study, I do not see humans or animals building up resistance to natural substances in terms of medicinal herbs. So I don't see people getting elderberry resistant bacteria and viruses. That's what I'm saying. So in addition to whatever else you're doing to keep well, whatever you choose to do, and I have no judgment, and you shouldn't either, do what works for you, okay? If you want to vaccinate, if you want to wear masks, if you want to take pharmaceuticals, but what you need to do in addition to all of that is you need to eat whole, fresh, non-industrially processed foods, okay? So foods that actually have nutritional value and aren't full of sugar, salt, and fat. things your body actually doesn't recognize. You need to drink plenty of water and get adequate rest, especially in the winter months. It's really the time of where we need to kind of hibernate, which means you need a little more sleep at this time of year. And you need to wash your hands frequently and avoid sugar in all forms except in natural forms, which is found in whole fresh fruits and vegetables, meaning, don't eat the sugar, eat the beet. Understand what I'm saying? No, and get, sugar in whole fruits. Those, your body knows what to do with all of that. And you can also incorporate herbs, botanical medicine into your wellness regime, as well as trying natural remedies at the first hint of a scratchy throat or fever. Now, sometimes if you can nip the cold or flu in the bud, so to speak, right at the beginning, you can either avoid it or shorten the length or the severity of the experience, and all will be well. But please note, if you're feeling really sick for longer than 3 days, or you're running a very high fever for longer than, I would say, 2 days, please contact your healthcare provider for as immediate of care that you can receive. And this is also very true with children. It's good to have a fever for a little bit, but if it's going on and on and on, you need extra things to help out. And also, if you're elderly, if you're a senior, our senior bodies don't respond as vociferously and vigorously as our younger counterparts, which means if you've got a cough that's just lasting forever, you really need to go to the doctor and you need to get a chest x-ray, because our seniors can go into double pneumonia at the drop of a hat and not even run a fever or have any really symptoms other than maybe they're feeling really tired and they're coughing. Okay, so you really need to be vigilant with your health and get good health care. And you can also realize that never fear, botanical medicine is here. And this week's herb of the week is known mostly by its Latin name, Astragalus. Now, the English version of this herb, the English word, I don't think will endear you. Maybe it might, some people who are really into shocking names. It's called milk vetch, which I don't find melodic. It doesn't kind of roll off the tongue. Astragalus, though, just kind of sounds ethereal. I just like it. Now, if you want to get really specific, especially if you go to Chinese herbal pharmacies, Huang Qi is the name you want to use, and you'll really impress them if you use the Chinese word. Now, Huang Qi astragalus, and this is Astragalus membranaceus. There are many different kinds of astragaluses. Astragali, I guess, is the plural of astragalus. And you need to get the membranaceus. That's the one you want because it has this really amazing healing quality, and it's also called Huang Qi. Now, Huang Qi is mainly produced in Inner Mongolian Autonomous Region, and it's also grown in the Shaanxi and Huailongjiang provinces in China. Now, the one produced in Inner Mongolia is better in quality. I'm not sure why, but those in the know swear by the astragalus in this region. Now, astragalus is a perennial herbaceous plant in the Leguminosae family, or the pea family, and it is harvested in the spring and autumn, and the root is the part that is used, hence the proper botanical name, if you're wanting to get really fancy, is called Astragalus radix. Radix is the Latin for root. Now, the TCM use, the traditional Chinese medicine use, the quality of astragalus is it's sweet and warm. It enters the lung and spleen meridians, and these two organs in Chinese medical theory really are the immunity organs. They have a lot to do with first line, especially lungs, is first line immunity, and spleen as well. And it tonifies spleen qi, and we all need to have our spleen qi tonified. It's just so common. It's basically people that are fatigued, they're short of breath, they tend to edema, they tend to gain weight, all kinds of this stuff, and a very low energy. So spleen qi, you need to tonify this and rate it. Huang qi does that for you. It also protects the defensive lung qi, which in Chinese medicine is called the wei qi. And the wei qi is the first line of defense against viruses and bacteria. Now, it's so much more poetic in Chinese terms, which means it's called the pernicious evil influences. Those attack the wei qi, but Astragalus will come to the rescue and make your wei qi much more healthy. It also nourishes the blood. Now, the modern usage, particularly in Western medicine, is that Astragalus helps nourish the system after excess blood loss. And so this is a really good thing to throw into your congis and your soups and teas after giving birth, because women tend to bleed a lot during that. And if you've suffered from an accident or you had some sort of massive trauma where you lost a lot of blood, this is really good to help in the recovery. It also promotes urination, which means it relieves edema. And it's excellent for the first stages of colds and flu. And this means you need to use it right at the first hint of colds and flu. Most of us are in denial usually at this stage. Oh, it's just allergies, or oh, whatever. It's right when you're so, boy, here it comes. That's when you need to use this. Don't use this 2 or 3 days into your cold and flu. It will actually make things worse. And that's the caution that you'll see in the Chinese herbals. Now, there's quite a bit of study on Huang Qi astragalus in Asia, as well as Europe and North America, about the immune-enhancing properties of astragalus. And this was really true specifically when the AIDS epidemic was at its height, before the really good pharmaceuticals came into existence. And so Huang Qi was really useful for that. It's also, they've been looking at it in terms of cancer treatment and prevention. It's used, it's shown really good research for use in fatigue, indigestion, diarrhea, heart diseases, hepatitis, and anemia. And also, it's showing how there's really good research showing how astragalus reduces inflammation and protects against stomach cancer. Now, if you're suffering from any of these diseases that I just listed off, you need to get a solid workup from a licensed healthcare provider. And that means blood work, urine work, x-rays, physical exam. And you also, in addition to that, you need to get a thorough workup from a licensed natural healthcare provider, say a naturopath, acupuncturist, or chiropractor, so that all systems are considered, and see if you need this herb and get an accurate prescription and make sure that there's no contraindications or overlap with supplements and pharmaceuticals and so on. So it's just a good idea to make sure you're collaborating with your healthcare providers. Now, traditionally in Chinese medicine, Chinese herbs are rarely taken as individual herbs, and they're usually put in formulas that have been created thousands of years ago and used with quite a bit of success. And for those of us who went to acupuncture school and had to pass our licensing exams, we had to learn all of these formulas. We had to learn their names in English as well as Latin and Chinese. And you had to learn all the herbs and what they did, and then all the modifications is what they said. So if you had a certain issue that called for a certain formula, and then but you had this other extra issue, then it would say, well, in that case, you needed to take herb whatever out and put this one in. So they've, these have had at least 1,000 years of perfecting the formulas. And also, China has 1.5 billion people, and most of them use herbs in acupuncture. So obviously this stuff works, and it's not killing people like some media personalities and marketing companies would like you to think. Now, for those of you who would like to incorporate Huang Qi and Astragalus into your wellness regime, as I said, it's a good idea to get a Chinese medical diagnosis. Because if you take Astragalus when it's not indicated, you can actually make things worse. And if you have a specific way of getting sick, the herb can be balanced out in a formula designed specifically for you. So if you have a Chinese herb store close by, most of them have an herbalist on staff, and they'll look at your tongue and take your pulse and hear your history, and then they'll make a wonderful formula just for you. And if you, as I said before, if you take Astragalus when it's not indicated, you can make things worse. The Astragalus is available in bulk dried herb form. You usually can find this in Chinese grocery stores. You can buy it as a liquid extract, and you can also get it in pill form, and it can either be a gel cap with a liquid extract or a powdered form in a capsule. Now, I don't recommend long-term use, say no longer than 2 weeks. If you're still sick after 2 weeks, you really need to get a thorough workup. And also, this herb may not be indicated for you, and you may still be sick because it's not the correct herb for your condition. So take advantage of people who know what they're doing. Now, when you go to acupuncture school in North America, for the most part, when you learn about Chinese herbs, you only see the prepared herb, which is either stir-fried or dried or powdered or whatever. And I often referred to my herb packets as bags of mulch, because that's what it really looks like. You get a bag of twigs, dried leaf, berries, pods, barks, and so on. Now, at the University of California at Berkeley, there's a botanical garden, and it's really gorgeous. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You really should go there. And there's a lovely Chinese medicinal herb garden. And at my alma mater, the American College of Traditional Chinese Medicine, which is now part of the California Institute of Integral Studies, this has a small garden surrounding the campus. And real estate in San Francisco is very expensive. And there's usually nothing much of lawns and gardens, but there's often around buildings, there'll be like a container garden around it. And that's what my instructors and students were planting different Chinese herbs. And the herbs, when you know what sort of plant they come from, are really, really beautiful. And the bag of mulch does not inspire like the living plant in terms of, wow, that's so pretty. So I have no experience growing Astragalus, but I do have in the program notes a wonderful seed company called Strictly Medicinal Seeds. And I'm also recommending this incredible book, which I do own, and I'm going to start using it as I establish a Chinese medicinal herb garden for myself. And the book, as you can see, is called The Chinese Medicinal Herb Farm. And the print is a little small there. It's called A Cultivator's Guide to Small-Scale Organic Herb Productions. And this is by a woman called Peg Schafer. And this book is published by Chelsea Green Publishing. It's a United Kingdom publisher that has the most amazing and useful books on all sorts of herb farming and medicinal herb processing, microfarming, and other things. Honestly, while I own several of their books, I want all of the books they publish. So check out the link and know when you purchase from them, you're supporting an independent press. Also know that Astragalus, because it's from the pea family, is also a wonderful cover crop and helps to bring natural nitrogen to the soil. So this is a wonderful winter crop. And also, if you have a large garden, you can use this when you're giving some land a year off. And it's really beautiful with its purple flowers. So however you want to bring this amazing gift from nature into your life, in your medicine cabinet, or as a wonderful addition to your garden, I hope you come to appreciate Astragalus for its healing and beautiful qualities. This is Stephanie Georgiev saying thanks for spending your valuable time with me. Don't forget to check out the links in the program notes. And also, if you're interested in the Botanical Medicine Study Course, which is set to begin in early 2024, click below for details. And until next time, be well.